What up, everybody? So anyways, I'm back. Welcome back. It's nice to see you again. So I got some stickers up on my car, right, on the new project. There's a few of them. I got another one coming for this back part too, but yeah, there's a few of them. You know, do. How's everybody's week been? Mine? It's been okay. Now, I'll be working on this thing tomorrow. So I just came out here to do a few things real quick and then test out a few things and check some stuff out. Yeah, what do you think of that one? I mean, is that crazy or what? Yeah, I got a different one coming too because this one had some sharp edges. So it had these little edges that like stuck out, and I didn't like them because they were starting to peel up. So I just took a razor blade and cut them off. There's a lot of bubbles in there because that was some thick vinyl stuff. And I mean, what can you expect? You think it was like $10 maybe off of Temu. Had them design it and make it, and I think it's okay. It's like color shift stuff. I'll leave it up there. Anyways, holographic, whatever you call it. So yeah, I did get that done. I figured out some stuff with the door too. So with the door, and I'll be going over this later on and everything and checking more of it out when I'll measure some stuff, but I'm gonna get rid of this whole panel. I was gonna keep the original panel and just put like the custom pods stuff on here, do tweeters down there. Now things are changing up a bit. So what I'm gonna do is just get rid of this whole panel, and I'll put plywood up here, like some 1/2-inch plywood, and then I'll just drill out the hole where the handle's supposed to go, and I'll cut out the square where this is supposed to go, because I can just measure from here up before I do any of that stuff, and I can kind of trace it off the panel too. It probably won't have an armrest, but I might be able to find one. And then just kind of space everything out accordingly, but I have to see how much room I have beforehand. So it's gonna be 2 6.5s up here, and then it's gonna be a 10-inch mid, and then an 8-inch mid and another 8-inch mid. The 10 and the 8 that are down here will be wired together because everything's gonna be 8 ohm, except for that one. So that one would be, whatever's down here as far as an 8 would be a 4 ohm. So these two would be 8 ohm wired together to create 4 ohm, then wired to its own channel. These two, the 10 and the 8, would be wired together to create a 4 ohm wired to its own channel. And then the doors would be on their own channel, left, right, whatever. So like this door would be its own, that door would be its own. So the only problem is that speaker down there would be 4 ohm. It's going to be on its own, probably its own 2 channel, because the tweeters that I have, I'm going to run these tweeters here. They're 8 ohm each tweeter. So they're going to end up being 4 ohm to its own channel. And then same for the other side. Don't know how I'm running these off that same 4 channel, but we're going to figure it out because these are each individually 4 ohm. So instead of wiring them together as an 8 ohm load or whatever, it'll be 2 ohm per side, and then I'll wire that to the amp. So each channel will be running 2 ohm. And then if it overheats the amp, it overheats the amp. I don't really give a shit. I'll just be jamming it anyways, whether it does or doesn't. But yeah, here, I'll flip you around here, give you guys a look at some of the stuff here. So this is my fuse block from Sound Mechanics. It is molded, I guess, or cut. I don't think it's molded. I think it's cut out of ABS plastic. This is not the unbreakable one. Those were like 80 bucks. This was like 60 bucks. This is the 2. So 2 fuse holder. And this one runs 4, so this will be backed by the amp, because this will be what it goes in from the battery to here directly to the amp. This one will go under the hood. Hopefully it doesn't melt, but I don't really care. That is there. And then these are the tweeters I got. So I ordered 2 pairs that were supposed to be like this polished cast aluminum. But they didn't send me the same ones. They sent me these other ones, which are these weird thing is these cost more, but they're less in watts. They're like 150 watts. And these ones here claim to be 300 watts, but these were cheaper. These were 24, these ones are 26. And I don't know if they messed up something on their advertisement for that or something, but anyways, I ordered these because these were like $24.95. So I bought these. I was like, hey, you know what? I'll just double down. Got to get some for the other door too. Ended up this way. So what I'm going to do is do one of these on one door, one of these on that same door, and then vice versa. So it kind of evens out. Now, I got these for the pillar caps. So these are just cheap. These were like, I don't even know, 14 bucks for a set. And then I got these were 20 bucks. So this is the driver's side, and it is a gauge, like a racing gauge pillar cap. And so I'm going to mount this to the pillar cap, drill holes through the A-pillar, run the wires in there, wire everything together that way. This is for the passenger side. It's the right-hand side drive if you actually were ordering these. This came from the same company, and I actually don't remember the name of that company. I think it's called Glow Shift, if I remember right. Yep, that's it. It's called Glow Shift. So that's who made these. Company, it's Glow Shift. I don't remember the company I ordered them from, but they were like 1992 or something like that off Evil Bay. And so I decided to order those. I got the wiring in, so this is all my GP wiring. This is 2 gauge, 1/0 and 1/0. And I'll turn the screen on so I can show you guys. This is some really packed stuff. Like, that is super compact in there. And this wire is heavy. Like, I mean heavy. And yes, it's OFC. This wiring right here to right there, all that GP wiring stuff is $400 worth of wiring. This is 10 feet, this is 10 feet, this is 10 feet, and this is 10 feet. But it's $400 worth of wiring right there. It's, I don't know, people are probably like, why didn't you go with Sky High? Well, I did, but not for that. Because Sky High was actually kind of more expensive. So this is my connector. This will come off of that wireless base knob, and then it will go into a single run. And so I have that. I had to mark this. This is my RCAs. So I had to mark this because this is HU for head unit, because these wires are directional for the way that the signal goes. And it comes with a ground isolation wire too, which is kind of cool. I don't know if I'll actually ground it on the deck, but I might. These were cheap. These were, again, I think these were like $14.99. I went cheap with everything. This was $2, you know. This is New Concepts, just a single one, and this is actually was literally labeled as single wire Brazilian amp. So that's how they labeled it underneath the advertisement for it. And I was like, oh, okay, so just a single wire. yeah, so this will connect to the amp. This will be the wire that goes between the amp and the wireless bass knob adapter, because this will hook into here like that, and then this will go directly into the amp, since that amp only has one input. This is my 4-channel wiring. This is I forgot the name of that stuff. Belva. So this is Belva wiring. This stuff was pretty cheap too for the 4-channel stuff. I'll run the 4-channel down, and then I'll have to get RCA cock boxes to be able to run off of there, because I'm going to be running 2 4-channels and a 2-channel. So I'm going to need to loop off of this single run. Then I got sky high, heat shrink, multi different colors. Red and blue are for the speaker wires that are going to go through the back of the cab into the box. That's going to connect to the box. And I'll just run bolts for connecting into the box, but going through the cab, through a waterproof grommet, and into the actual cab itself. Those will be, these ones here, they're just single, so they're not together. So after I make the run, I'll wrap it with Tessa tape, just to keep them nice and together in between the 2 waterproof grommets that have to go through there, because one has to go through the bed and one has to go through the cab itself. Then I have some more GP 2-aught, I believe that's what this is, but I'm going to run this as well as on the 1-aught too, if it shrinks down good enough. Hopefully it does. I was hoping that those would be bigger than what they are. They look like 0 gauge actually, but it says they're 1-aught, and when I look at them, it's really compact. And it has a nice insulation inside there. So it's like the outside sheathing, and then it has like an insulation barrier or insulation inside there, and then it has just a super compact wire. I mean, there's a lot of strands in there, and it's super, super compact. I mean, this stuff is heavy too. It's like no joke. But I wonder if that's like EMF shielding or some sort of fire material in there. Who knows? But anyways, yeah, you don't see that on other stuff. That secondary shielding that's in there, or coating. I got, I don't even know, 5 400 amp GP ceramic fuses. So 4 of them for the fuse holder for in the back. And then I thought I was going to do an aftermarket alt, but I decided not to, because the battery that I'm going to be running can run off of a stock alt, and my stock alt charges at between 14.8 and 15.1 according to the factory specs from Dodge. And then I don't have to do an aftermarket standalone alt or mess with the PCM, and I can just run it I can just literally run it off the stock alt. The stock alt at 12 volts puts out like 117 amps. And that battery that I'm getting, which is the itty bitty boom, can support stock alternator, or support a 17,000 watt amp at high base draw off of a stock alternator. So I'll run that and see how it does. Let you guys know if it actually works or not. You know, somebody's got to test it, right? I'm sure there's other people out there that have already tested it. My cousin actually just picked up one for his ride. So that thing there, hopefully he starts working on it pretty soon, because that thing's going to be incredibly loud. 218s, that's going to be pretty loud. Either slide-in box or flat wall, hasn't decided yet. Personally, what I would do, obviously I would put wood up on the roof, but I would build like the floor in there and then build the side walls, and then I would do a slide-in box. So it almost be like a sixth order when you're done, because it would be a slide-in, but it would have the port on the back end of the sub enclosure. So the subs would be loaded more towards the front of the box, and then you just slide it in from the rear. And then, because he can jack up that the box using that 1,000-pound hydraulic jack dolly that he has, lift it up, and we can get like 3 guys and just slide that box in. And when we slide that box in, then he can put the back up. So then the back would go up. That port would be right along that back wall, and it would turn it into a sixth order. Or he can leave it as a sealed box, but I would definitely just make a port back there and turn it into a sixth order. Yeah, that'd be the quickest and easiest way to do it. And then crawl in from the driver and passenger area, because you won't have the seats in there yet. And then you can put L brackets into the that bottom board and to the box itself to stop it from sliding forward or from moving side to side. A couple L brackets maybe on the front of the box as well, or straight bar, I guess. So you can run it off the box and then off of the other platform that the box is resting on, just to be able to create another stopping point going forward, because that'd be a heavy ass box, and if you're driving and you get in an accident, that box is going to come at you. You see what I'm saying? So you'd want it bolted down or screwed down. And if you load the subs inside there before you actually install it and slide it into that cabin area, you can't really bolt it down. Those subs weigh 132 pounds a piece or 135 pounds a piece. I think they're 132. So 132 pounds a piece per sub. You're not popping that sub out of there by yourself, or just picking it up and, hey, let me move this out of the way so I can put bolts down through that area into the base of the enclosure. No, that just doesn't happen. So you would have to rely on some kind of bigger, thicker, like L brackets off the side, probably like 4 on one side, 4 on the other side. And then I would do like 4 straight rods, like, just a straight rod, or even a piece of wood across the front of that box that screws into that bottom platform and into the front of that box. Because if you're traveling at 70, 80 miles an hour, get in an accident, 50, 30 miles an hour, that box is going forward, and that's a lot of weight. Yeah, the subs kind of will hold it in place, but I don't care what anybody says. Wood against wood like that with no other surface between them, it's just going to slide. It's going to be like it's on ice and it's just going to slide. Anyways, back to this. I have the green and black. This is also 8 gauge. So this is going to be the wire that runs the 4 channels. So power and ground. This is like, 25 feet, I think. I think the red and the blue one is only like 15 feet, if I remember right. And this is like 25 feet or 50 feet. This might be 50 feet. I'd have to look it up again. I'm pretty sure that it's not that high. Might be 50 feet. Let's check it out. It got delivered the other day, so maybe I deleted it. I like doing that. Like, I'll get stuff and then I'll be like, I don't need that in my order cart anymore. Yep, it's gone. Darn it. Well, maybe it might still be inside of my eBay order. That is not it. Sky High 25. Nope, that is not it. Where did it go? Well, I guess it's gone. Is it gone? 50 feet. It was 50 feet. And then the other stuff is 25 feet. It's total for the red and the blue, because it's 12.5 per section. And then the other stuff is 50 feet total, 25 per section for the green and black. So yeah, might as well just call it 25 feet. Anyways, that's that. I think I'm gonna come out here tomorrow and I'm gonna do some stuff. I'm gonna take those A-pillars off and see if I can get these things mounted up there and figure out how to close the bottoms on there, because they don't, there's like a gap. It's about like that big or so that's on there, but we'll figure it out. I can throw some foam in there. I could put some spray foam in there and let it kind of expand and come out a little bit at the bottom and just cut it off. Yeah, the sky's the limit with that one. I don't know what I would do, to be honest with you. I don't know. So I have another sticker coming for the back that's going to go on there. I also have a replacement sticker for that front that says Demo King. I also have to weld in license plates over that and clean that up, clean that up. I have to clean this up. I'm not going to probably weld anything over this, but I just want to kind of clean it up. This I have to grind off some stuff and push that metal in because it's separating. And then I'm going to just throw some booger weld up in there and just line it up, lace it all the way around. Maybe if I can just do like a section, like, hey, here a little bit, stop here a little bit, all right, stop here a little bit. This side, you can see it's looking like some Swiss cheese, but it's not all the way through yet, so maybe I'll just kind of grind it down a little bit and then might plate it. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Is if I just kind of grind up here somewhere and take some paint off, clean this up underneath there, paint this underneath with like a rust preventative, then I can fold a piece of plate and put it in there, just weld it in place and call it good. Yeah, that's a plan. There is some Swiss cheese over here too, right here. Yeah, it's flaking off. I got to take a hammer or something and bang on it a little bit. Hopefully don't bang through it. And then, yeah, this is going to get ground and plated. That's pretty solid right there still. This was knocking out pretty good down here. You can see how thick that rust is and how now it's kind of thin, but yeah, that might need to get bladed too. Don't know. Anyways, there's a hole in the corner. Swiss cheese. Yeah, Swiss cheese, for real, for real. I mean, if I can fix it just a little bit, just to make it last a little bit longer, the rest of this truck is pretty good, and it should last for quite a while. Once I cut the hole in the back here, I got to put some rust preventative stuff on there as well too, like some Master Pro, and then paint over that just to call it good before I install that pass-through. And then from the inside I will do the same thing, like master coat the box side and then the inside the best I can between the cab and the box, and then also the cab itself. Then I'll take and paint it to kind of match it, but it really won't matter in the inside. in here either, the paint to match thing. That's just putting extra coating over the top of that Master Pro just to help prevent it from re-rusting or something. I won't clear coat it or nothing, that's not important. Then I'll install that pass-through and get all that stuff set up. After the pass-through is installed, I'll measure and cut a board for a cutout that will kind of go around that actual pass-through, and then I can just screw that directly to there. I'd love to bolt it down, which would mean that I'd have to go under here and take these bolts off for the bed bolts. I don't really want to do that, because I really don't see bed bolts. Like, I don't know how this is bolted to the frame. Unless the bed itself has studs that go through the frame and then there's nuts on the other side. But it's from 1996, so the chances of it coming off cleanly without snapping one of those studs or something bad happening, it's pretty high. It's pretty high. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to get it off. There's also these little corner things, if you can see there. I want to close this up too, because if I put that tonneau cover on here and for some reason water leaks through here, it's going to get in there, or it could possibly get into here. Yeah, I just don't want that to be an issue possibly in the future, because if the box is in here, who knows? I may or may not make the box out of that that decking, composite flooring, because you can buy like 4x8 sheets. It's like $168 a sheet, and I would at least need like 4, maybe 5 sheets. Yeah, that's kind of expensive when I could just build it out of shitty ass plywood like some ACX or VCX. VCX is really shitty because it's all knotted up. ACX is at least a little bit better. I think this shit's ACX, if I remember right. Yep, it's orange, so it's ACX. But yeah, that at least looks okay. Then I can just, I don't know, cut all the pieces out and then just paint that shit with like bed liner, let it dry, give it a couple coats, and then just put it together inside of there. It's a lot of room. I might not also go with the Alibaba 12s. Well, can't call them Alibaba 12s. The 12s that came from China. I reached out directly to the manufacturer. Just for the 8, it's like $1,068. That's shipped total, right? But then if, let's say I order them, that's a cheap deal, that's a good deal. I go through and I put those in here. I smoke one of them. Now I got to wait 45 days to get another one, right? So what I'm thinking is I could just go with a different brand that I could end up getting something quicker. Like, that's kind of like more local for the US. I don't have to wait. Granted, they might be out at that time, and I might have to wait for them to get their stuff made or get a new order in if I blow one. But what I was planning on doing is 415s at that point then. Instead of the 812s, I would do the 415s, and then I would do the slaps Oblivions and run those with that, because they claim 4,000 max. So 4,000, 4, 16. It'll work. Maybe putting them like right to their limit, only if I max the amp out. But what's the point of having a 16,000 watt amp if you're not going to max it out, right? Put it into clip, pull it out of clipping just slightly, and leave it. let it roll, and if the subs can handle it, they're good subs. If they can't handle it, nah, fuck them, buy something else. Yeah, so that's the plan. That's the plan. Anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. What up, everybody? So we're back. I don't know if you can hear me over the fan, but yeah, I got the heater going. It is, I mean, it's not like that cold out, but it's getting cold out. So anyways, I'm working on this thing. So I got you guys up on the stand now. I got some wires cut to be able to make the remote wires. They are right here. So yeah, red positive. That'll go through there, right through the firewall. The blacks will be the remote wires. And then I'll figure out which one's which and then just mark those accordingly, but I mean, to each switch. Once I get these ran, these are 6-foot runs. So 6 feet back through the switch, back to the where the amps are basically going to go. Hopefully I don't have to extend them, and hopefully they work out. But yeah, I got that going now. Measured off that stuff. I think as of right now, I'm going to try to find a spot back there and drill a hole through the firewall. And then once I drill a hole through the firewall and stuff, I can run all these through there. I'll crimp them and lug them. I have one 8-gauge lug that is just floating around in here. Well, at least I had one. Not sure what I did with it. So that's another problem that I'm running into, is that I had stuff, or have stuff, but after the move, I don't know what I did with it. So that is definitely a thing. Anyways, I'll have to track that down. I do have one 8-gauge lug. I figured all of these, because these are 12-gauge, so I figured I could take all of these and I could stick those into that 8-gauge lug and then just crimp them down. That should be good. And then they'll all go to the front battery, because I'll just have the remotes off the front battery. Also, I'm going to run grommets through the firewall and end up running all 3 runs for my 4-channel, or 2 4-channels and my 2-channel. So I'll run all 3 of those off the front battery. The only thing that's going to be off the back battery is the main amp itself. So I'll have that set up. So we will get to it here.
Do tracks.
So anyways, I wanted to show you guys this, so I stopped the time lapse real quick. Yeah, so I made a hole. I don't know if it's gonna be able to pick it up very well, but I got this wired up. So it was really difficult to be able to find the wire because their harness wire here for this Dodge or whatever, I don't know if they messed something up in that fuse panel, because that fuse panel is all janked up. You know, truck belonged to a farmer. I don't know what he patched into or what he did or didn't do. So I just extended that yellow wire down. I found a wire underneath the dash that just was unplugged that happened to have a constant 12 volts to it. So I just ended up running it off of that. So far, so good. Anyways, I made a hole down here so I can run my switch panel there. Made a little bracket for the switch panel, and it will screw into those screws just like that, and those wires will be tucked away inside of there. You won't be able to see it. I mean, if you look underneath it, you'll be able to see it, but if you don't, which most people won't, they'll just get in, and then I can hit that. And so the wires will go through here off the switch panel, and we'll be good to go. So I think I did a okay job with it. I mean, for what it is. That part of the dash doesn't want to go down. I made it go down, and I split the dash right there. Just cracked it. So it's okay. Just an old truck anyways. Once this screws in place, it holds it up in there really good. So there's nothing to worry about. There's also a screw here that will align up for the dash beauty plate. And then that'll cover that up. So yeah, you won't even see that when that's covered up by the switch panel. So nice little switch panel. Set that in place. Then I have my switches for, I'll set you guys up there. So then I have my switches. Whoa, come on, balance now. For being able to do my 4 channels, 2 channels, and then the subs. But what I think I might do, depending on how I do it, because I want to be able to do the, because basically one of them is going to run all the mids, one of them will run all the tweeters, and then the other one will run the sub amp. So I will have that set up because I don't want to have the tweeters on all the time. So the tweeters that are in the door, the super tweeters that are in the door, they will be hooked up to the tweeters that are inside of the pillar cap. So that's basically how I want to set it up. I don't really want to have it set up to where they're on with the doors, because that way if I just want to shut off the tweeters because it's just overkill or something, then I can just do that, you know, because driving around or just driving to my destination, I might just want just the doors on, just listening to a low volume, little bit of music, where it's not like killing my ears or anything like that. And granted, maybe the super tweeters probably won't be that bad, you know, at low volume, but just in case, I would rather not have them making my ears bleed before I end up going to the show. So I just put them on their own 4 channel and shut them off. I'll have to wire in the 2 channel with the 4 channel that goes to the doors, because this 8 that's going to be down in here is going to be its own it's going to be its own standalone 8. So I basically have to figure out how I'm going to make all this work. So with that roller in the way, if I can sync the 8, yes. If I can't sync the 8, for this door handle being in the way, then I guess what I'll do is move it, and then I'll have to get like a smaller armrest, I think. Which, that may be what I do, because now that I'm looking at it with that sticking out, I don't have much room. And putting an 8 here, I mean, I'm just not going to be able to really do it. So I think I'm just going to put it where the center part is on the armrest, and then I'll just take it and move it. So I'll show you guys kind of what I'm looking at here. I'll take these screws off the bottom of this magnet. So this is basically the door handle thing that I'm talking about. If I put the 8 here and I put a spacer behind it, I'm going to hit that. So this won't be there, and I'm not going to utilize this again. I'm going to buy an aftermarket armrest if I decide to do an armrest, and then it would just be a smaller square that would go in here, because I have to be able to put a 10 right here, an 8 right here, the other 8 right here, 6.5, 6.5, super tweeter, and then I just won't have anything down here. It'll just be blank. This is going to be there, obviously, and then this will be there to be able to open the door. And if I need to put something to be able to close the door, since I'll have that 8 right here and a little mini armrest or something right there, I might just take and put a piece of seat belt or something there where you can just close the door, or tag it off the top or something, just a piece of seat belt, and just book. Maybe over here, super tweeter, piece of seatbelt. I don't know. We'll just play it by ear. They pull here because that's the center of the door, and that's where that I'm going to put that other 8 because it'll be 8 right here, 10, 8, 6.5, 6.5. Super tweeter. Basically making almost like an arrow. Yeah, it'll work. I don't know. I'm just winging it. It'll work or it won't. I just don't know where I'm putting that to be able to pull the door shut. Grab the door handle. It doubles as a door closer. I don't know. I have to figure that out when I get to it, I guess, which might be pretty soon, because next in the cart to order is all the stuff to do these doors. So that's a thing. Anyways, I'm going to get back to some more shenanigans here, but I'm going to leave it off there. So if you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.